G'day YouTubers, and thank you for tuning into today's very interesting tutorial on Microsoft Paint, especially when it comes into animations and whatnot. In this video, it's going to be a very short and sharp one. Let's just say, oops, sorry, I've just spat when I was just speaking. That's not really good. Anyway, so in this video, I'm going to be showing you on how I make textures move, and I actually learned it from a particular animation I did way back in 2023, which featured a giant Komodo dragon lizard. Of course, I might show it to you and what it looks like. I'll grab the webcam because it's very vital before we get into some very great advice. I'm just, going to show you on what the Komodo dragon looks like. There's actually other videos involved, but I'm not going to show any other people's videos and stuff because it may lead to some very nasty copyright infringement and whatnot and stuff. So here is the Komodo dragon. Now, what you may have actually realized is that there's a lot of texture movements going on here, and so it's actually quite stunning and impressive to apply texture. So that's very, very nice. And of course, as you can see that the Komodo dragon is moving. So how do I make a thing with a piece of texture move? Like, of course, yes, I'm still working on my animation, like some grass. I've made some grass. I've made a very cool traced out rough and ready drawing of grass from an already existing Google Maps picture. And if you remember my gradient tutorial, check out on the link down below. Yeah, of course, yes. Go ahead and watch that video, of course, if you want to see and how I make gradients and stuff. But today I'm actually going to show you how I make textures move. And I'm going to show it to you. Let's just scroll down. So this is the Komodo dragon that I was working on. Now, one thing about this Komodo dragon lizard type thing is that this creature, when you take a look at it, the textures, so Microsoft Paint has a very huge variety of different textures, and if I go to the line tool or the shape, if I try and look at some shapes, if I go to the polygon tool or whatever shape you can choose, there's like various different textures, and they're all derived from the brushes. Microsoft Paint has now added, ever since Windows 7? I think it was Windows 7. And their version of Microsoft Paint featured different types of methods like chrome, marker, oil, natural pencil, and watercolor. That's a very nice thing to see on that version of Microsoft Paint. And well, as you can see here, these are, well, two Komodo dragons. No two Komodo dragons are the same. Now, if you look at the texture, it's amazing. You can definitely take a look at the texture. So you're probably thinking, oh, but Ivan, how do you apply the texture? Now, I know that I've actually got a lot of sprites for my animations and stuff, but yeah, this is actually very different to the way I use Ibis Paint. And of course, yes, in order to implement textured effects, of course, yes, I'm just scrolling down, scrolling down, scrolling down, and scrolling up, of course, at the same time. So this is going to be a very simple and very quick little video on how do I make textures move. So, very interestingly enough, if I wanted to add a bit of texture onto an already existing bird, let's just say a hornbill, let me just go ahead, or even a kingfisher, let me just go ahead and click on one of those. Yeah, I can make it as different as possible as I can. There's a lot of stuff here I just do not know, so let me just choose one of them. Maybe this one here, because this one's quite very much indicative. Well, indicative, I don't know how you say that word, sorry about that, I can't pronounce words very neatly. So yes, here are 3 hornbills, and there's also about 5 of them. You can see how I added some texture. Now this is a classic example. Of course I can add gradients as well too, which is a very nice sign. You can also apply gradients. But here is a very cool method, like, of course, is how do I apply textures onto a particular model. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show it to you. So here's a square, and I'm going to fill it just a blue background. But as you can see, there's a white background. Now, I'm going to go ahead and copy this and paste this, but look what's happened. The shape has disappeared and whatnot. Maybe I could try and draw another. Let's just say if I can try and draw a giant line. Let's just say a giant white outline, like so. What happens if I copy and paste it? It doesn't seem to work. Now, one thing I can do is go to the eyedropper tool, right click on the color, or left click on the, I think it's right click on the color because it corresponds to the background color. I think it does. Then I'm going to cut it. And I'm actually going to go to the other file and then I'm going to paste it. There you go. But of course you can apply texture in various ways. Maybe that's not the way it is. Maybe if I try and do this and then do that. So when you select transparent selection, it gives you that sort of not just textured effect, but also you can just, you know, play around with the whole thing and stuff. I don't know whatever the hell I'm talking about. So as I've just shown you with the gradient fill, of course yes, I've shown you a very impressive demonstration earlier on that was a bit rough and ready of me, but so in order to apply textures and stuff onto bird beaks and stuff, you can just copy and paste. I think you can just simply drag. Let me just show it to you. Let me try and go ahead and maybe select a particular, let me try and select a particular color, right click and stuff. Then I want to go to like, maybe, let's just say watercolor and stuff. And of course yes, if I wanted to do that, then I have to select an existing color from an already existing sprite. And what that would also mean is that it will keep the background color, but it's going to mask whatever color I've selected from the eyedropper tool. And now I'm going to paste it, and that doesn't work because I haven't selected the transparent selection method. Okay, that didn't work because I didn't add the textured effect. Of course, maybe if I go back to black, the actual black I was referring to, and then paste it. But there's a problem. Of course yes, I haven't really right click on the color I've selected. And there you go, you got a bit of textured effect. So what I could have done was basically changed, well I could have just eyedropped that color and then just go to edit colors and then press OK, but then who knows, maybe that would have been so simple, but that was foolish of me. So applying textures may not be that simple, but of course yes, it does give you a very good lift. And interestingly, you can, if you're not very clear, maybe if I try and go for something that's a bright color, let's just say red. Let's just say a bright red color, and if I go ahead and paste it, it turns the hornbill into a very totally different sort of bird. So as you can see, the textured effect, you can just see how different it is. It's all derived from one single piece of red tile, textured effect, sort of shape, I think shape color, and I've actually selected a textured effect like so, with watercolor or oil of course. And if I go ahead and do the same thing but with watercolor, let me try and do the same thing, maybe try and do that with yellow in it, and if I paste on it, you can see when I add more than one textures, the bird starts to become a little bit funky and a bit, well, the texture becomes very inconsistent, and whenever you apply it on an already existing sprite, the reason why it's so inconsistent is because it heavily relies on the detailing that's already there in place of here and also in place of here. So what I'm trying to say is that when I apply the texture, it obviously focuses on the certain portion or the specific how would you say it? I can't really remember what I'm saying. A very selective and very specific position and a selective I don't know. I just feel like I don't want to do tutorials anymore, but hey, this is what you've got there, guys. So you know, one thing you can do is that you can also play around with the textures. I might show it to you. Maybe if I try and go back to yellow, you can go ahead and play around with the textures a bit.
you can make the textures look a little bit inconsistent, as if the bird was moving or something, or maybe it's something to do with, you know, the way bird feathers work. But noticing of just how bird bodies walk, you can mobilize the textured block just to give it some inconsistency, of course. And as I said before, in a very rough and ready way, this might be the roughest and ready video of all videos today, because it's nearly coming up towards 7 PM. And what you can do is make the texture just move around, mobilize and stuff. You can put it in anywhere as you like and move it around of such. Doesn't have to be the same, but hey, oh pardon me, I just had a bit of a hiccup, hey. So there you go. This is how I make textures and implement textures on already existing sprites and other things alike. It helps you to speed it. It actually makes things a lot more detailed, but you can also make some very good funky stuff as well. Now, to say this properly, the textured block isn't really as consistent. Now, the inconsistency factor is that when you apply it, when you try and animate a bird like this, the inconsistency of the sprite itself isn't really very much the same, because it heavily relies on a specific and a very selected portion of the textured block that you've chose. And that's it. I think that's it, all I've covered so far in this video. So I better make a move for shower time, because it's about 2 to 3 minutes to about 7 o'clock. So if you really enjoyed in this pretty simple but basic and rough and ready tutorial on how to make textures move and how to apply textures on already existing sprites, you can just, you know, get rid of the already existing color with the eyedropper. Make sure to right click it, because the right hand color is the background color, and then the color you have to correlate it to color 2, and color 1 is the foreground color. So please give this video a like, subscribe for more videos as always as per usual, especially Microsoft Paint tutorials. If you want to go ahead and do a bit of animating, or if you want to do a bit of artwork and stuff, as always. Thank you so much for watching, and bye for now. Thanks so much for your time as well too. Whoa, I didn't expect that to happen. Just an apocalypse of videos. Okay, that's it guys, bye. And girls too, bye as well.